What's up everybody? Byron here from ETA. In this episode we're going to talk about batteries. Specifically, we're going to talk about the two most popular battery cells used in the PEV community, and I'm going to pitch you guys an oddball because I believe this is going to be the future. We're going to talk about the 26700 sodium ion cell. We're going to go into the history of the lithium batteries because I believe that you have to understand from where it came to where we are now to where it's going to understand why I'm pitching this sodium ion cell as a very real possibility for use. And I'm hoping that when we get to the end of this video, you guys will help me in joining the what do we do with these batteries when they're no longer useful for my electric skateboard or PEV. We're going to go into talking about second life programs because these batteries are still going to be useful in other applications. These batteries are still useful even after their practical use within an electric skateboard or other PEV device is basically ended. Talk about second life programs, and then we're going to talk about what are they doing with the batteries when they're literally, there's nothing else you can do with them. How are they being recycled? And why I think sodium batteries are going to be the go-to move in the coming years. And we're going to go a little bit into sustainability. So with that being said, taking the time to write a script today. I don't do that very often, so please enjoy it. There's a lot of information that I have to convey. Catch me glancing off to the side. It's simply because I've got a lot of information here and I want to make sure that I give it to you as technically correct as possible. It is my belief that we as consumers need to begin having this conversation with battery pack makers, battery cell makers, electric skateboard makers, and other PEV makers. This conversation that we really need to start having is what are we going to be doing with all of these batteries when we get done with it? So with that being said, we're going to go further down the rabbit hole and we're going to go learn some history. We're going to learn some mystery. We're going to learn some current tech. And then hopefully you guys are going to have a much clearer picture of the full life cycle of these amazing batteries that are used for the things that we love. Welcome back to ETA Wheels, where we cover all things mechanical and curious. Today we dive into the fascinating world of batteries and we explore the advancements in lithium and sodium battery technology. We will discuss the past, present, and future of PEV battery tech. This episode will look at Li-ion batteries, sodium batteries, and the potential replacement of lithium with sodium battery technology. Since this is dealing with future battery technologies, we will also briefly cover solid state. However, we will deep dive solid state batteries as well as salt water batteries in a future installment. Let me know in the comments below if you would like me to do that sooner rather than later. I'm more than happy to do that. We're going to be focusing predominantly on how the new tech can be adopted for PEVs. And you'll see why, especially if you follow some of the links that I'm going to put down in the description for further information. I mean, this is a lot of really cool information. We're going to get a little nerdy and we're going to have a little bit of fun. I will quickly define the PEV for the purpose of this particular episode as any electric skateboard, EUC, or one-wheel type device, anything that falls into that category. Some people refer to it as last mile transportation, okay? Anything that falls into that category, that's gonna keep this video flowing. When I began the research for this video, I quickly had to descope the project. And I had to just focus in specifically on the world of PEVs. I would be happy to make a video that goes into electric vehicles and utility vehicles and things like that. I'll be happy to do that if you guys would like to see that, but I would like to keep the focus for now just in the PEVs. Before we deep dive, let's take a look first at the history and the development of lithium battery technology. It's important to see how far along the tech has come to fully understand the direction that it's going. The story begins in the jolly old UK with the development of the lithium-ion battery, which revolutionized portable electronics and became the power source for our modern devices. The groundwork for this technology was laid in the 1970s by a team of scientists including John B. Goodenough, Stanley Whittingham, and Akira Yoshino. And if I butchered their names, I'm sorry, who were developing this tech under ExxonMobil at the time. Though their design was effective, it was only good for approximately 50 charge and discharge cycles. Further, they actually had to find a way to assemble these batteries while they were fully charged, which I'm sure you guys can imagine is not a fun way to build a battery. The next great jump in technology came in the 1980s when several different electrolyte, cathode, and anode types were tested. We're not going down that far down the rabbit hole, guys. I'm just trying to give you a quick backstory so you understand. Now we jump into the 1990s, where Sony coined the marketing term lithium-ion battery to distinguish it from older technologies which had limited applications outside of laboratory. Their groundbreaking work led to the commercialization of the first lithium-ion battery in the early 1990s. This rechargeable battery utilized lithium compounds as the active material in its electrodes, allowing for higher energy discharge and longer lasting power. It's the whole point of lithium batteries, after all. But lithium wasn't the only player in the game, even back then. In fact, scientists have been researching sodium batteries since the 1960s. However, they didn't have a big technological leap until we get into the 1980s. God, the 80s were wild. In recent years, sodium batteries have emerged as a potential alternative due to their abundance of materials. You no longer need cobalt, and as you still need lithium, but you don't need anywhere near as much. And we're going to get into that, especially when we start talking about the actual sodium cell itself, because there's some really cool things that I believe the community should know about sodium batteries. They hold the promise for various applications, including grid-scale energy storage. If these devices didn't exist, every time the whole city decided to recharge their cars at the same time, you could potentially have brownouts and blackouts. And it's a huge strain on our current electrical systems. And that's why they're developing things like power banks and buffers. Again, I'm going as general as I can with the terminology. I'm sure some of the electrical engineers that might watch this video are gonna destroy me, but that's okay. I want to make sure that everybody has a clear understanding, and that's the point of this video. For the PEV community, these gems of electricity and science, the sodium battery, may yield a future towards a far more sustainable product. Let's fast forward to more recent developments, where researchers have been exploring the potential of sodium solid-state batteries, yet another type of battery. And we're going to deep dive those when we talk about solid-state batteries. These batteries replace the liquid electrolyte found in traditional lithium-ion batteries with a solid-state electrolyte, offering advantages such as improved safety and thermal stability. Although still in the early stages of development, sodium solid-state batteries show a great potential for enhancing energy density, reducing costs, and addressing safety concerns associated with traditional lithium-ion batteries. This is considered to be the bleeding edge of current technology and will soon have the potential to overtake lithium-ion batteries as it is adopted to new applications in the future. So now we're moving to the next huge leap in battery technology, and we're just going to briefly cover solid-state batteries. There's so much to unpack with these that I'm going to be dedicating a future episode just to solid-state batteries. The most important thing that we need to understand right now is Toyota has spent a lot of money and a lot of time developing solid-state batteries, and they're going to be rolling out as early as 2024 and 2025. So that's just around the corner, guys. Toyota has been actively working on the development of solid-state batteries for electric vehicles. They have outlined concrete plans for 4 types of next-generation batteries, including solid-state batteries. Toyota has formed a new organization dedicated to EV development and business. The automaker has shared a timeline for the introduction of several new EV battery types, each aimed at different vehicle families. And yes, PEVs are in the works with the Toyota batteries. Toyota has also partnered with Idemitsu. There we go. Sorry if I fucked it up. To mass produce all solid-state batteries for PEVs and BEVs, battery electric vehicles. By combining a new solid electrolyte with Toyota's cathode and anode materials, they are making great progress towards the mass production of all solid-state batteries. So essentially, what you need to know is you're going to have a battery that if you do have a crash and it gets punctured, it's not going to be a fire or safety hazard. I mean, it still may, but it won't be as bad. Do that what you will. Moving over to Korea, Lucky Gold Star, yes, that's what LG stands for, have been doing their own due diligence with solid-state development. LG Solid-State Battery Developments. LG Energy Solution, a subsidiary of LG, is also involved in the development of solid-state batteries. While specific details about LG's solid-state battery developments are limited, they are currently working on all solid-state batteries. What I mean by that is the construction, not all batteries on Earth. When I say all solid-state, LG Energy Solution aims to commercialize their all solid-state batteries after 2023. So they're a little bit further into the future than Toyota is, which is literally right around the corner. They have also been exploring different battery technologies, including a polymer-based solid-state battery. More on that when we deep dive solid-state batteries. Please note that the information that I just provided you is based on the latest developments that are currently published and easily available, so you can check it for yourself. For more details and up-to-date information, I recommend referring to official news sources or news articles related to Toyota and LG's solid-state battery development, linked down in the description. And there you have it, a brief overview of the history of lithium and sodium batteries and their development. Now, let's deep dive into reusability, recycling, and applications of these incredible energy storage solutions. Welcome to section 2. Thank you for sticking around. In this section, we're going to compare lithium and sodium batteries used within the PEV community. We're going to take a look at some of the reasons I believe sodium batteries will begin to take the lead and become a far more interesting option in the near future. We're going to discuss energy density, charging speeds, and overall theoretical safety of each cell type. The sodium cell, which is a CATL 26700, and the Li-ion cell. Energy differences. Lithium batteries have a higher energy density compared to sodium batteries, making them well suited for PEVs such as electric skateboards and unicycles. There's no getting around that fact. Lithium batteries are at the top of the heap in terms of power and range. But there's more to that equation when it comes to electric skateboards, in my opinion. The higher energy density allows for longer rides and extended range without the need for frequent recharging. Sodium batteries, although not as commonly used in PEVs, have a lower energy density. It's true. However, ongoing research aims to improve the energy density of sodium batteries for better performance, specifically for the PEV community. Charging speed and thermal runaway. This is a big safety. Sodium batteries have an advantage when it comes to charging speeds in PEVs. Due to the larger size of sodium ions compared to lithium ions, sodium batteries can be charged at a significantly faster rate. This feature is particularly beneficial for PEV users who want to reduce charging time and get back on their electric skateboards as quickly as possible. Additionally, sodium batteries are known for their improved thermal and physical stability compared to lithium batteries. The reduced chances of thermal runaway in sodium batteries enhance the safety of PEV users, and it provides a great peace of mind while you're on your ride. Furthermore, sodium batteries can be used in a much wider variable of climatic conditions, including much higher ambient temperatures and much lower ambient temperatures when compared to an equivalent lithium battery cell. The charging speed alone will offset the difference in range output, and it is not inconceivable to fast charge a sodium battery pack in as little as 30 minutes with a gallium nitride charger at 10 amps. Further on in the video, I made some comparisons, and I did what I believe kind of the industry is going to at the moment, and that's a 14S 5P battery group. And so I broke down each of the 3 cells that we're going to be comparing in that configuration. Obviously, with a P42 or a 50S cell, you're going to get more range. There's no denying it. Okay, let's say hypothetically you get a 50-mile range out of that battery pack with either the P42 or the 50S, right? Let's just, for easy math, let's just cap. The sodium cells are going to give you a range of approximately 30 miles. That's not that bad, but for those of you that are heavy riders, you can recharge the board in as little as 30 minutes, whereas you're charging for 5 to 6 hours on the larger with the Li-ion batteries. So you do lose a little bit of performance and you do lose a little bit of range, but I think that if you plan ahead properly, the sodium batteries will actually be a very good alternative, and they are far safer and more sustainable than the lithium alternatives. Application potential. Lithium batteries have already established their dominance in the PEV world. There's no doubt about it. They pissed on the competition and they established dominance. Their high energy density, lightweight nature, and proven technology make them the preferred choice for high performance electric vehicles. Many popular electric skateboard and unicycle brands rely on lithium batteries to provide the necessary power and range for their vehicles. As research progresses and advancements are made in the sodium battery technology, we may see an increased adoption of the sodium batteries in PEVs as a cost-effective and efficient alternative to lithium batteries. Some companies and research institutions are already exploring the use of sodium batteries in PEVs. CATL Technologies, you're one of them, aiming to harness the benefits of sodium batteries, such as their abundance and significantly lower cost. And you can go price these right now and go put it up against a P42 cell price, and you'll see how the sodium batteries are very much the low dollar baller choice. So let's go ahead and compare the two most popular batteries in the PEV community right now, and that is the Samsung 50S and the Molicel P42A, and the Hitachi sodium ion 26700 cells. CATL is the manufacturer, but they're being sold under the brand of Hitachi, just in case that throws anybody off from what was said earlier. And they're marketed by Celion Energy. You can go right now and buy these cells. Each cell has been assembled into a theoretical battery pack of 14S5P configuration. Fair warning, we're about to get a little sciencey, a little bit nerdy. We're going to get a little bit in depth. I used published data available from Molicel and Samsung for the P42A and 50S cells, two of the most widely used battery cells in the PEV community. It should be noted that sodium ion batteries have the ability to be discharged down to 0 volts safely, something you can't do with lithium batteries. So you could potentially offset that range difference by bleeding down your battery pack a little lower. However, I have kept the cutoff at 1.5 volts, as is keeping with current good practices in handling batteries, and this is also what's recommended currently by the manufacturer of these batteries. The ability to store a sodium ion battery at 0 volts could enable air travel options not previously seen for larger battery packs, so you can theoretically transport it much easier. However, ETA, which is the organization you need to go yell at if you have any questions about why you've got the watt-hour limitations that you've got on batteries taken on a plane, they would have to make an exception for air travel with sodium batteries. As of the filming date of this video, 11 November 2023, I was unable to find any references within ETA for sodium batteries, which leads me to believe that they will be treated with the same restrictions currently in place for lithium until otherwise noted. So just because the technology is out there doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be adapted right away. So let's get into the actual nerdy part and let's break down the specs. We're going to start with the Samsung 50S. Minimum safe voltage 2.50 volts, maximum safe voltage 4.20 volts, amp hours per cell 5.0, 3,300 milliamp hours, watt hours per cell 63.0 watt hours. Total amp hours for the 14S5P pack is 70 amp hours. Total watt hours, 882.0. That's a pretty healthy battery pack, guys. Molicel P42A, minimum safe voltage, 2.5 volts, maximum 4.20, amp hours per cell, 6.7, watt hours per cell, 20.87. Total amp hours for a 14S5P battery configuration, 93.8 amp hours. Total watt hours for a 14S5P pack, 2,930.2. You can kind of see why people like these batteries for their e-skates and EUCs and one wheels. Sodium ion 26700 batteries. Minimum safe voltage 1.5 volts. Maximum safe voltage 3.95 volts. Amp hours per cell 3.3 amp hours. Watt hours per cell 10.23. Total amp hours for a 14S5P pack is 46.2 amp hours. Total watt hours for a 14S5P pack is 1,431.9. So you can kind of see it's not as good as the lithium choices, but you do still get a pretty respectable range. Now, I had a look at some of the different sodium ion cells that are currently on the market. There's only a couple of different types, but this 26700, that seems to be the most close in specifications to what we're already using. Further, sodium ion batteries can actually be produced on the same production lines that lithium ion batteries are being produced on. Here's my little caveats. Please note these values are based on specifications provided for each cell and the 14S5P configuration. Ensure to follow the manufacturer's guidelines for safe and optimal usage. Looking at the specs, you can see why the reduced potential of sodium ion batteries has taken a backseat to its Li-ion compatriots. But the advantages of being much more easily recycled, the ability to manufacture sodium batteries from discarded lithium batteries, or lithium batteries that are at the end of their total use life cycle, and the speed at which sodium batteries can be recharged, in my opinion, they make a very strong and a very compelling argument in their favor going forward for a PEV battery. It would be a compromise between cell safety, range, and rate of charge. Not to mention the reduction in scale of current lithium and cobalt mining operations globally. Those of you guys that don't know, while lithium is a semi-abundant material, cobalt is not, becoming harder and harder to get it. Using something that could be manufactured from the ashes of old lithium batteries to produce what, in my opinion, is a fairly reasonable alternative to a Li-ion battery pack kind of sounds like a pretty fucking good thing, huh? The use of sodium ion cells offers a much more inexpensive battery pack. I'll say that again for the people at the back. You can make these cheaper, significantly cheaper than you can make or buy a Molicel P42A battery. The use of sodium ion cells offers a much more inexpensive battery made from abundant resources and could also make use of old Li-ion batteries. If you've made it this far, awesome. Give me a like and a thumbs up if you guys are getting something out of this. It's great that we've got the coolest, neatest toys on the block, but if we don't have a game plan for the life cycle of the electronics inside of it in 2023, there's no excuse. Section 3. Welcome back to Section 3. If you've made it this far, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment, possibly consider subscribing. Section 3, we're going to talk about the recycling of lithium and sodium batteries. The importance of recycling. I know there's a lot of people that have a lot of varied opinions on this. I'm just giving you mine. Improper disposal of batteries can have a significant environmental impact. There's no debating that because it's true. When the batteries are not recycled, they often end up in landfills where toxic and hazardous materials can leach into the soil and water, posing a threat to ecosystems and human health. Additionally, batteries contain valuable minerals and materials that can be recovered through recycling, reducing the need for raw material extraction and the associated environmental and human impact. Because guys, if you go down that dark path of researching cobalt and lithium mining, let's just say it's an eye-opener, okay? You cannot just buy these products and not be aware of that. I'm not trying to go down a woke rabbit hole, but if you see the conditions that some of these materials are being harvested in, you'll maybe start to ask some questions too. That's all I'm going to say. You do your own research, you do you. Lithium battery recycling. The current state of lithium battery recycling is steadily improving. Various recycling technologies and processes have been developed to recover valuable materials from lithium batteries. These processes typically involve mechanical and chemical treatments to separate and extract materials like lithium, cobalt, nickel, and other metals. These recovered materials can then be reused in the production of new batteries or with other applications. However, there are still challenges in lithium battery recycling. One major challenge is the complexity of battery designs, which can make the recycling process far more difficult and less efficient. What I mean by that is just because you can shred it and you can chemically separate the materials or mechanically separate the materials doesn't always mean that there's enough left over for another viable lithium ion cell. There are, however, plenty of materials left over for sodium batteries. Sodium battery recycling. The current state of sodium battery recycling is still in the early stages of development compared to lithium battery recycling. However, researchers and industry experts recognize the importance of developing efficient recycling processes for sodium batteries in order to promote sustainability and reduce environmental impact. Recycling sodium batteries involves different processes compared to lithium batteries. Sodium batteries use a little bit of a different chemistry and materials, and they require specialized recycling techniques. Research is underway to develop efficient and cost-effective recycling methods for sodium batteries, and some of that technology is actually being rolled out right now, along with the first, in my opinion, viable cell for use in a PEV. The potential benefits of recycling sodium batteries are significant. Recycling sodium batteries can help reduce the demand for new raw materials, promote a circular economy, and minimize environmental impact associated with battery production. As research progresses and technological advances are made, the recycling of sodium batteries is expected to become more efficient and widespread. Manufacturing sodium batteries from deconstructed lithium batteries. This is the star of the show and the star of my argument. It is indeed possible to manufacture sodium batteries from deconstructed lithium batteries as a potential source of material. This technology exists. It's here. This approach allows for utilization of recycled materials from lithium batteries and takes advantage of the natural abundance and lower cost of sodium. It's fucking salt. Granted, there's a few extra steps to it, but it's fucking salt. Shit's everywhere. The manufacturing of sodium batteries becomes a far more sustainable and environmentally friendly process. We're going to briefly touch on solid-state batteries again. Solid-state batteries are a promising technology that offers potential advantages over traditional lithium batteries. These batteries use solid electrolytes instead of liquid electrolytes, which can lead to a higher energy density, faster charging times, and improved thermal safety. The theoretical reuse of solid-state batteries involves repurposing battery components for new applications. This approach can contribute to reducing waste and maximizing the lifespan of battery intervals. So essentially, these batteries, for example, that Toyota is rolling out, are designed to be reused. The technology for their recycling is coming online with the production of their batteries. So you're getting a complete cradle-to-grave solution when it comes onto the market. And I think that's fantastic. And that's something that, in my opinion, should have happened within the lithium battery world. It's not just enough to ask the question, why did we build it? Because we can. Well, that's great. Well, what do you do with it when it's no longer useful? This is the question we need to start having. When comparing sodium batteries and solid-state batteries, because there are also solid-state sodium batteries that are in production. More on that in a future deep dive episode. There are key differences to consider. Sodium batteries have lower energy density compared to lithium batteries and solid-state batteries. However, sodium batteries offer advantages in terms of natural abundance, the lower cost of sodium. On the other hand, solid-state batteries have the potential for higher energy density and even further improve safety. And without going on too big of a tangent, there are even seawater batteries that are actually being deployed and used right now in the world. And we're going to cover that when we cover the solid-state batteries. Both sodium batteries and solid-state batteries are still under heavy development and implementation, and further research and technological advancements are needed to fully realize their potential. Conclusion. The recycling of lithium and sodium batteries plays a crucial role in reducing environmental pollution, conserving valuable resources, and promoting a more sustainable approach to battery production and disposal. The existing recycling technologies for lithium batteries and ongoing research in sodium battery recycling are steps towards a greener future. By recycling these batteries, valuable materials such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel can be recovered, which drastically reduces the need for raw material extraction. Additionally, the potential use of deconstructed lithium batteries to manufacture sodium batteries offers promising possibilities for utilizing recycled materials and taking advantage of sodium's natural abundance and lower cost. A lot of you guys may not realize this, but there have been companies purchasing up old lithium batteries and they've been shredding them up, but they still haven't figured out what to do with them after they do that. I like to conceptualize this personally as a black goo, and in fact that's actually an industry term, but they've got a lot of this material and it's in storage because they don't know what to do with it. They're only just now getting to the point where they can extract the key materials from it. So this is kind of a bleeding edge at the moment, but it is coming, and it is coming very soon. The future of battery technology holds great promise for a greener and more sustainable energy landscape. As we continue to prioritize recycling and develop innovative solutions, the impact of battery disposal on the environment can be minimized while valuable materials are recovered. I'll break this down as simply as I can. Proper recycling of the lithium components in the batteries leads to a far more affordable hobby. Companies such as XYZ Recycling and ABC Technologies are at the forefront of battery recycling technology, investing research and infrastructure to improve recycling processes. These advancements will allow for the efficient recovery of materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel from used batteries, reducing the need for raw material extraction and promoting a more circular economy. I've used that twice now. What do I mean by that? You've got a cradle to grave plan for every battery that's manufactured. Lithium batteries, that genie's already out of the bottle, and they're only just now dealing with it. The sodium batteries, the technology to recycle them, it's already here. And as these batteries roll out, so will the ability to recycle them. And the solid state batteries that are eventually going to take over everything. The solid state batteries are being designed with that same philosophy. It's cool that we can build it, but what do we do with it when it's dead? Those questions are being answered as that technology is walked out. And I think that's amazing. The adoption of battery technologies, particularly in the realm of personal electric vehicles, is expected to grow significantly in the coming years. As more people begin to use these on the roads and within communities for that matter, it becomes crucial to address end-of-life consideration for PEV battery packs. By integrating sustainable practices and considering the recycling potential of lithium batteries when designing PEV battery systems, we can ensure a more environmentally friendly approach to their usage. The impact of PEVs on the global power grid cannot be overlooked. However, by strategically utilizing recycled lithium batteries beyond their life cycle in PEVs. So what that means is it's no longer at its peak performance for moving you around in your skateboard, but it still has a useful life. So they're finding ways to extend that. The impact of PEVs on global power grids cannot be overlooked. Right now it's pretty minimal. However, as more people adopt the technology, it's going to get more complicated. By strategically utilizing recycled lithium batteries beyond their life cycle for use in a PEV, they can be turned into power bank buffers, which can extend the useful life and reduce the strain on power generation systems that we already have. This approach not only maximizes the value derived from the batteries, but also minimizes. This approach not only maximizes the value derived from the batteries, but also minimizes the requirement for additional energy resources, making PEVs more efficient and more sustainable. Sodium batteries emerge as a promising alternative for PEVs due to the lower cost, the natural abundance of all the materials needed. Manufacturing sodium batteries from recycled lithium batteries, we can utilize the valuable materials recovered from the recycling process and reduce demand for raw resources. Ultimately, that's going to bring the cost of personal electric vehicles down to much more affordable rates. Moreover, the potential for faster charge times with sodium batteries enhances the usability and convenience of electric vehicles, and it makes them more attractive to consumers who are maybe they're just starting to consider this, right? One of the things you want to look at is how long does it take, how far can it get me, and how long will it take me to charge it back up when I'm done? These are all questions that I believe the sodium batteries can answer and address effectively. The recycling of lithium and sodium batteries, the development of efficient recycling technologies, and the exploration of alternative battery options like sodium batteries are the key to a far more sustainable, healthier, and greener future. By considering the end-of-life phase in the life cycle of the PEV battery packs and embracing sustainable practices, we can contribute to a more sustainable and environmentally friendly energy landscape. Together, we can drive transition to a cleaner and more sustainable future. We as consumers should be asking these questions of the manufacturer. That's one of the best ways to ensure that we're going to get to that sustainable future sooner rather than later. In a rapidly evolving world of personal electric vehicles, it is crucial for the PEV consumer and the end user community to take into consideration the end of life cycle for their battery packs. By actively engaging in recycling efforts, supporting sustainable battery designs, vote with your dollars, and exploring innovative solutions like sodium batteries, we can extend the useful life of batteries, conserve resources, and minimize the environmental impact. Let us embrace a far more holistic approach to PEV usage. Ensuring sustainability and responsible battery disposal are an integral part of our journey towards a cleaner and greener future. Down in the description, I will list some references for you to further explore battery technology. Our next episode will feature a discussion focusing on saltwater batteries, solid state batteries, and other bleeding edge technological discoveries within the battery realm and how we could use them for our PEVs. We've got a lot of information, and I mean, just even from these links, you can see why I had to scale back the scope, because I want to keep these videos easily digestible and easily understood by people at all levels within the community. If you're just, walking in brand new to the scene and you don't know anything about batteries, hopefully one of these videos that I've been making here lately, or you can go check my other videos, that break down the different types of batteries and things like that. Hopefully you guys are getting value out of it, and hopefully you guys are learning. And it's only through education that we can change things. So I believe everybody should educate themselves, especially because, dude, why do we do e-skate? Because it's fun. It's awesome. It's amazing. And honestly, it is a pretty good method of transportation if you're getting around a city, for example. All of the benefits, but I believe that we should also be aware of the cons. So this has been Byron. I'll see you guys in the next one. And remember, the more you know, the better you are.